Hello and welcome everyone to the Kickstarter challenge. I am excited that we get to spend this whole week together working on building and growing your profitable, sustainable and successful jewelry businesses. And in particular, we're going to be looking at vision setting. We're going to be looking at putting some real concrete goals into place. We're going to be looking at some action planning, looking at your weekly routine. And finally, we're going to be looking at some financial goals as well. And this is a brilliant time of year to be working through these different areas of our business, getting some real clarity on what we want for the year ahead. Nothing too stressful, entering a new year, we want to be gentle with ourselves. You probably had a difficult, busy season. Often jewelers have a very busy season just before the end of the year. So we're sort of easing in, but at the same time, we are excited to get going and build some real growth in these businesses this year. And the way that that's going to happen is starting now. So I like to look at a jewelry business as a whole year, starting from January through to December. Often we can feel like Christmas and the end of the year season is the biggest one, but actually every season has its place. And January is a great time for planning, February, March, kind of working on collections, building up products, so that when it is the time when there's more obvious sort of sales seasons, we've got everything in place and we are ready to go. So yes, we are in day one, and today is all about vision setting. So I want to introduce you to a little tool that we like to use, and all of this content that we're going to be working through together this week is also part of the Jewelry Business Academy, which is a one-year training program that we have developed for jewelers who want to build their own successful jewelry business. So if you are considering joining that course, this is exactly the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing together in the program. It's just more longer, more in depth. We have more time to work on things. So this is kind of the content we're all going to be working on. And if you're in the Jewelry Business Academy already, then you can go ahead and do the content over there if you like, or here, or both. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to introduce you to the vision triangle. I've just got a little sheet here with it on. Hopefully you can see it. So this is a tool that I love to use because it's kind of just a very simple way to plan our year together. So it all starts at the top with the vision, which is small in the triangle, but actually where everything kind of stems from. And this is a useful tool not only for this time of year, but it's also going to be useful when you're making decisions later in the year. If shows and events come up, if opportunities come forward, you can say, well, does it relate to the vision that I had for my business? For example, if part of your vision is to be able to run your business and do the school run every day, and somebody offers you a role working full-time in a jewelry studio, you might say, okay, that's not going to work for me, for my vision. So just little things like that help us redirect what we actually want from our business, because it can be very easy to build a business that makes money and then realize it's not at all what you wanted. And I've definitely had that experience before. So putting the vision at the heart of everything that we do, and we'll talk a bit more about what the vision is and how we come up with it in just a moment, is going to be really crucial to making sure that you not only have a profitable business, but you actually enjoy it and you want it and it makes you feel good and you have freedom and you have some joy and happiness that is coming from it, because that is super, super important. Otherwise, why not just work anywhere? So keeping kind of what we want, the why, some people call it, at the heart of what we do is really important. So that's our goal for today, is we're going to be looking at vision setting. Then tomorrow we're going to be looking at our goals, and I'll go into more detail about how we can set some realistic but really inspirational goals, nothing too stressful, no New Year's resolutions, nothing that can mean that we're going to fail, but just direction. So the goals are what steer the ship in our business and tell us what we're doing, what's going on, what's next, and also what we don't need to do. Because, for example, if your goal is to grow collections, but somebody comes to you with a repair and you've got to work out, well, do I have time to do this repair and also create my collections by the deadline that I've set myself? No, sorry, I'm going to pass this repair on to someone else because I'm really focused on what I want to achieve this year. So goals is going to be tomorrow. Then the day after, we're going to look at our action plan because it's so easy to create goals, leave them there, and never look at them again. And it was a nice little exercise, but it hasn't led to anything. So the action plan is our way of breaking down each goal into some manageable chunks and starting to do the work of thinking, what do I actually need to achieve this goal? If I'm creating a collection, where do I start? I need to order my materials. I need to design my pieces. Am I going to start with just 2 or 3 and then move on from there? So we start to sort of map this out together, and it can help get real clarity in our minds of what we're going to be doing and when. Then we're going to move on day 4 to our weekly routine. So this is one of my favorite ones, actually. I mean, I love them all, but the weekly routine is where we start to then embed the action plans. So again, it's all come from that vision. So it's all kind of really filtered through into what are we doing every week? How much time are we spending making? How much time are we spending on our marketing? How much time are we spending on our administration? And how does that change throughout the year in line with our goals? But also, what are we doing to look after ourselves to make sure that we're able to show up for the business and that we are enjoying what we're doing? So we're going to start blocking out kind of how our weekly routine might look. Now, some people love organization and will absolutely thrive on having all this structure. Some people need something a little bit looser. So I would say, consider yourself, think about what you need. And it's a very gentle program in that you can fit it around what's going to work for you. But we can all do these core fundamental pillars of creating our vision, our goals, our action plan, and our weekly routine. And that's going to set us up really nicely for the year. Now, the final day, Friday, we're going to be looking at money because we can have all of that, but if we're not bringing in any revenue or funds into our business, then it's going to be very tricky. So we're going to be looking at something that we call revenue generating activities, which are essentially things that we're going to do to create revenue in our business. So I'll go into more detail on that on the 5th day. So let's come back to today. First of all, well done for being here. It takes courage and effort to, put effort into growing your jewelry business. So I'm excited for you that you want to do that this year. It's something that I'm deeply passionate about. I've been supporting people to run their jewelry businesses for more than a decade, much more than a decade now, and I absolutely love it. And it's just wonderful to watch people's dreams come alive and also for them to learn their jewelry making, but also to build something really profitable for themselves on the other side of it too. So let's look at our vision setting. I'm just going to grab my vision notes. So vision, what is a vision? It's kind of like an overarching statement about you and your business that says what you want. And it can change. So we're generally looking at a year period. So this year, what do you want? And I find it can help to start just writing down some words of what you want. So you might say, okay, I want freedom in my business. I want to be financially stable. I want to be creative. For me, I love gemstones. I love gold in terms of materials. So I love anything where I get to work with those. And just start kind of jotting down also lifestyle things that you want. If you want to fit in certain working hours, flexible working hours, working in the day, working in the evening. And the one great thing about your vision is we may not always get all of it straight away, but I would encourage you to go bold with it and put down what you really want. So I've got an example of a vision to show you here that I've kind of mocked up for a jewelry business. So this is just one example. Yours doesn't need to be the same, but it's kind of what your vision might look like. And I want you to write it out. So start with your keywords and then put them into sentences. And then you might edit it again until you have like a vision statement for yourself and your business for this year. So this says the vision, it's all about joy. So in summary, after doing a little bit of work, I realized that the vision for my jewelry business, and I'm not running a jewelry business at the moment because I'm busy with Jewelers Academy and Jewelers Academy Brighton. But if I was, this would be my vision for my jewelry business, is to create collections. So I'm talking about what I'm creating. So I've started with the kind of product and one of a kind pieces of simple and elegant handmade jewelry. So again, I've kind of really focused on the jewelry there. So what am I creating? Collections and one-of-a-kind pieces of simple but elegant. So I've described it a little bit handmade, really important for me, jewelry. Using gold, I told you there'd be gold. Using precious gemstones and high quality materials. So for this particular business, that was what was really important. It's like more of a fine jewelry business. So depending on the type of jewelry business you're looking at running, you might put in a little bit about your materials if that came up in your keywords, if that's important to you. For customers who love jewelry, gemstones, color, and gold, so they like all the things that I like, and are looking for the bespoke handmade touch from a jeweler they know and trust. So there I'm talking about my customers, and I'm talking about the relationship I'm going to have with them. So my customers love all the same things that I love, so they're not asking me, actually, could you make this in silver? Actually, could you do this with not precious gemstones? They love what I make, so they're coming to me for that. And they know, like, and trust me. So I've built a relationship with them. So that tells me a little bit about what I might need to do in order to build that. I'm going to need to do marketing. We're going to have ways of connecting with each other. So there's so much that comes out of a vision in terms of how I'm going to want to run my business in order to create this. To bring more beauty and joy to the world. So I kind of wrote this bit first with all the info in, and then this was more about how I feel about the business. Is I want to feel like I'm making an impact, that I'm doing something positive. So I'm bringing more joy and beauty to the world through the wonder of precious and fine jewelry. So again, being specific about the kind of jewelry that I'm going to be creating. To connect with my customers, connection is very important to me. It's important that they feel that they know me and I feel that they know them. To connect with my customers and help them find many moments of happiness. So happiness came up as one of my keywords: happiness, joy, connection, all of these things. And I may have had some other keywords that didn't go in there, but that's, and I'll put this in the notes for the program as well, in case you want to have a read through in a different way. But that was my vision statement. So you can see it's a paragraph or two. I mean, I use quite big font, so it's not a huge amount of writing, but it summarizes who you are, what you're making, who you're selling it to, and the most important thing is whatever's most important to you. So for example, if the most important thing to you in your business is that your materials are eco-friendly and ethically sourced, that will be really strong in your vision statement. Mine was all about color, gemstones, gold, people, because that's what I love. But there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's all about you and what you want from the business. And when you read your vision statement, it should make you feel like, yeah, that describes me and my business and what I want. So my task for you today, it should only take about maybe 15 minutes or so, is to write down your vision statement. Start with a brainstorm of words, if that's helpful to you, or even short sentences, because I think when we try and write a big paragraph to begin with, we can get a bit stuck, feel a bit like, is this perfect? And that's another thing, let go of perfectionism with this. It's no one else ever has to see it if you don't want to. It's really just our starting point. And again, when we're making decisions throughout the year, it's something we're going to come back to. So for me, it's not that important that it's really grammatically correct or that it's beautifully written, but it's important that when you read it, you feel like, that's me. That's what I want. And don't be afraid to go bold. If you want something really outrageous and exciting, go for it. And don't be afraid for it to sound like other people's. As long as there are some key values in there that are important to you, that you can say, someone could read it, perhaps a friend could read it and be like, that sounds like your kind of business. Yes. There's no right or wrong. It's all about you and what feels appropriate to you. And it's a really important statement because we're going to be using it to direct the whole rest of the week. I would encourage you not to think about your goals or any of the other bits yet. Just focus on the vision. Have a lovely day, enjoying being in the vision space. It's such a lovely space. And trust that anything that you want is possible. It may take a little bit of time, but we can get there. So good luck with it today. Do come and share with us inside the Facebook group, Jewelers Academy Facebook group. I would love to see your vision statements or how you're getting on with it. If you have any questions, if you need any support with it, I will be checking in each day to make sure I can help out. I'll also be on Instagram, on social media. So if you want to share anything there, if you want to share any vision statements, I would love to see them. The easiest way is usually to share them in your stories and then tag Jewelers Academy, and then I can can share them on with everyone else in the community. So best of luck. I look forward to seeing your vision statements, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, anytime, same place. And yeah, we'll be looking at our goal setting then. All right, bye for now.